Raymond Adams next on this mat.
They're already underway on mat 2.
Number 3 seed from Virginia Tech, Sam Latona.
Adams, one of Latona's 3 ACC wins this year. Adams went 0-3 in the dual season. And this Duke team, you talk to Coach Glenn Lanham, they focus all on individuals this season. You know, they have a lot of young wrestlers, a lot of guys wrestling as true freshmen, which is not something you see a lot. If you're new to wrestling, it's very common to do that redshirt year, wrestle unattached, get used to the speed of college wrestling.
Almost been forced into it based on some injuries and some folks that they thought were going to come back decided not to come back. And you mentioned the freshman. Adams, a freshman for Duke.
Yeah, you go down that roster, it's a lot of true freshmen and true sophomores. So a lot of guys who, from their freshman year, were the #1 guy at their weight class and had to wrestle a lot of tough guys, which Coach Lanham says it preps them throughout their 4 years. But, you know, it's obviously a really tough schedule. These guys feel each other out in the first period. Latona, a 3-time national qualifier, lost to Kai Oren, who's that 1 seed you saw in the 133 bracket in the semis a year ago. Adams looking for more elbow control. Latona in on a single leg. Adams has the whizzer, loses it. Now Latona with more freedom. He's trying to get that whizzer back in. And he does. Adams is doing well to defend, but there it is. Trip the leg, complete the single. Latona gets the takedown for 3.
Redshirt junior from Alabama, Thompson High School with the lead.
Virginia Tech, you mentioned it, back-to-back ACC champs before NC State went on this great run, 5 straight. But Virginia Tech has produced so many great wrestlers in their time. Now that program, headed by Tony Roby, been there since 2006.
Yeah, Tony Roby, when he first took over Virginia Tech, was on an interim basis, and he won the ACC title at NC State, which is obviously twice the delight for Virginia Tech based on that rivalry you mentioned. When they're at the Castle, it's full, and when they're at Reynolds, it's full when those two teams get together.
Just such great fan bases. Their fan bases have really gotten behind them as a wrestling program. Something you see in Pennsylvania and up in Iowa a lot, but this sport growing so much in the Carolinas and the Southeast. Riding time up to a minute now as the first period ends. Won't matter until then. Here's another look at Latona. Doing really well to get to what he wants. He gets in on that single leg, gets to the high single, and it's very textbook from there. When you have that high single in your armpit, you either want to go after that other ankle or make them trip. He ends up tripping Adams and gets the 3 points.
He had a tech fall against Adams not that long ago, 18-5. At 133, the ACC will send 3 to the NCAAs. So it's not quite as much gloom and doom if you lose this opening match. And as you mentioned, at 125, both matches needing overtime to find a winner.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. And these guys, if they lose, like you said, not as gloomy. They can work their way back in. That 3rd place spot will get them to the NCAA tournament. If you're outside that, you may just get unlucky, not get an at-large bid.
Latona comes in with a 16-5 record, including that tech fall win over Adams. The winner will face Virginia's Yarbrough.
Latona, obviously the higher seed, more expected to win this one if he takes on Yarbrough. That should be a great match. Yarborough went 1-2 at ACCs, but he's taken a big step up since last year. Adams in the scramble. Latona's in on that leg, got full control. And he can complete this for 3 points, and he does right there.
So comfortable lead for Latona. It is worth mentioning, talking about Duke, that they're not that far removed from having the 4 fine silvers and having Casper at heavyweight, where they were sending 5 or 6 wrestlers to the NCAAs. This is the one year where Duke is going to need a surprise to make sure they get somebody qualified for the NCAAs, as Glenn Lanham is usually always there with at least one. Over the years, they've been really dominant at heavyweight.
And Connor Barkett, their heavyweight 285, is kind of the guy they're looking at to do that this year. I think that's their best shot, but you're right. They may need a surprise wrestler to come out and get an automatic qualifying bid. There are 4 in those higher weight classes, so definitely something that could get done there.
Keep an eye on the score lines as well, as Tech falls, and falls will help as far as points for that team title.
Latona has really dominated. You noticed he let it back up because he's confident in his ability to take down. They get into this scramble, and that's where Latona's just a little more experienced than Adams. Those scramble situations, he knows exactly what he needs to do, and you know, when he can release, when he's got to keep that grip. It's all about strong grip strength too. Keeping around that knee of Adams. Just has to outlast him, then you can get behind, get the 3 points. It gives him the 10-1 lead. Plenty of riding time as well, and full control in the 3rd period. See if he can just work around. He's got the underhooks. Might be trying to see if he can get into a cradle.
So do want to let you know, at 125, Egan was able to beat Monteperco.
That's a big win for Egan. Egan, a guy who's hasn't been super consistent this year, but Coach Lanham said he can really be great when he puts his mind to it. He's got to cut his weight right. He's just got to stay focused, and he can be really good.
Yeah, Coach Lanham basically says he's either on fire or he's ice cold, one or the other.
Yeah, Coach Lanham does not mince words talking about his wrestlers. He'll let them know when they're not wrestling up to their potential. Latona not too far from the Tech fall here. Got to be up by 15 to do that. So he just needs to get behind there. Another good takedown. Latona up 16-2 now. Gets 1 more point. That'll end the match early.
Well, he's got that riding time. Might have some blood.
Looks like it will be a blood time for Adams. Nosebleed there. But like you said, riding time already fully in favor and not a factor. It's already the full point is secured, so allowing Adams to see if he'll get within the 15 as you look here at mat 1, Santaniello and Palmer for UNC. Palmer wrestling on his home turf.
Latona, one of 5 All-Americans for Virginia Tech, along with Kai Lewis and Bryce Andronian, Eddie Ventresca, and Caleb Henson. Tech also returns a total of 11 NCAA qualifiers.
Adams trying to get a pump roll, see if he can throw off Latona, but Latona's wrestled so many good guys. There's nothing he's not ready for, but, you know, that's going to end that second match we've had here on mat 2. And a Tech fall win by 15 for Latona moves him on to that next round where he'll take on Yarborough from UVA.
So remember, 3 qualify at 133. As we get you set at the 141, we'll take a look at the bracket.